such a nice turnout. And thank you, Dr. Gordon, for this opportunity. Actually, I'm going to switch spots because Michael is supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, sure. I'll step up and say a few words. So, I talked to you guys a little bit about what Iggy and I have been doing. We've been working for over a year now together, and a big focus of our work together is this project and this approach to anger management that Iggy has, and really it's national, international probably at this point with the people you have involved, and we've had a chance to talk about all those people that are involved, the support that comes along with it, the struggles that come along with it, and all the steps you've been making towards really bringing it live to the local community. I think that's a big passion of yours, and so this is one of those first steps to doing that. You guys are going to be the first, some of the first people in the local community to give a little bit back and some feedback and kind of see how this presentation, this workshop goes, and so I'm looking forward to it. I know Iggy's been looking forward to it, and I don't want to ruin too much about what it is. I won't say too much. I'm going to leave that for the star here. So,
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Iggy. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. That was a wonderful introduction by Michael there. There's a brief survey inside everyone's packet. Please fill that out. Take a few minutes to look that over. Then get a chance to set up the video that I wanted to set up, because I wanted to do the video. There's this video that I love. It's called The Mask We Wear. And it's basically a video that explains in society today the struggles that we have to educate the youth, the young people about explaining their emotions. And what I hope that you guys sort of gain from this presentation here is something that you might be already aware of, and that's where emotions come in, owning those emotions. A lot of us are afraid to do that. I was one of those persons that was afraid to do that. When I was growing up, sharing how I felt was not something that I was comfortable with. I didn't even know if I was allowed to do that. And in some cases, I was stifled from doing it. Yeah. But what I've learned of my, how old am I now? 44 years on the planet. I've learned to own my emotion. And I do so proudly now through this system that I've created called FPS. It's for me, it's an effective communication that I learned probably about 10 years ago when I did a conflict resolution course. And what I liked about the course was how it gave me like a format to open up when I'm feeling something. I feel I am a certain type of way, and then follow that up with an emotion. And ever since that day, like I said, about 10 years ago, that was an eye-opener for me, because again, I kept a lot of my emotions to myself. And I realized that over time it caused, for me personally, a lot of anxiety, depression, because I was keeping a lot of my thoughts to myself. I didn't feel comfortable sharing at the time with family, friends, or no one else. And so it was pretty hard on me. But when I took that conflict resolution course, that was an eye-opener for me, because it talked a lot about I statements. And FPS incorporates that. I'm sure, I don't know, Michael probably the only one that knows about FPS, unless you're a gamer in the room and you know about FPS in terms of first-person shooter. I've got a couple of gamers. Or if you're into photography, which is frames per second. But in this case, I've revamped it to work with as a communication acronym. And I'm excited, I know you guys are excited to know what FPS stands for. It actually stands for feeling. The F is for feeling, P is for the problem, S is for the solution. And how that works is you use the I statement to say, I feel annoyed, I feel agitated, I feel excited, I feel whatever it is that you are in touch with in the moment that you feel it. And then you follow that up by describing the problem that is causing the emotion. And then you follow that up with a possible solution. Most of the time you may not have a solution readily available, but you could just sort of put it out there as a wish. You know, I wish you would do certain things a little bit differently, or something like that. So it's a matter of those three structures. And what I've noticed is a lot of us have this common thing to tell people what we're very good at this, describing the problem. And in most cases, we even know what the solution might be for the problem. But I find that the feeling part, for some reason, gets left out. And who can tell me why? Any thoughts on that?
I think because it deals with our most sensitive part of ourselves.
Yeah. I get that a lot, because I do this workshop, or this class, I should say, online, and a lot of people mention that they don't want to be vulnerable for saying what they feel. And that's why, for a lot of people who are in my online group, that's the number one reason, and they're not comfortable with describing what they feel. And another thing with this is they might have a feeling, but they may not know what that feeling is and how to put it into words. So they struggle. They struggle. And so that's one of the reasons why the feelings is left out. But we were very good at describing the problem, and we might hit on the solution every now and then. And but that's what I, for my purposes, and this technique that I came up, and I've been talking to Michael about in all my sessions, it's all about feeling, problem, solution. Now, who can tell me why the reverse order of this would be a problem? When you go into telling the solution, and the problem, and the feeling. No thoughts?
Working backwards from a solution.
Right.
Why that might be. My guess is, I mean, we're human beings that primarily we're always going to have a feeling to provoke behavior. So.
Okay. But if I were to say to you, can you pick up the dry cleaners for me? If I was having a conversation with you, and I say, can you pick up the dry cleaners for me? That essentially, in that conversation, will be the solution. If you hear me say that, what would be your thought, or what would that make you feel? Would you be okay with that? I'm your friend. I say, hey, what's your name again?
John.
John, can you pick up my cleaners for me? My dry cleaners at the, I'm expecting the meeting in about an hour, so you mind picking up my dry cleaners?
Sure. If we were on good terms, if our friendship.
Yeah.
If we weren't on good terms, I might tell you no.
Okay. Well, okay. Hypothetically speaking, if you weren't on good terms, and I went to that, how would that make you feel if I were to ask you that?
Try and use me.
Good. Okay. Not only that, I didn't even tell you why I wanted you to do it. I just went straight to asking you to do that. Then, on top of that, I didn't even describe what I felt for the reason why I was asking you the situation.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I meant about doing it backwards.
I see what you
We
mean.
go with the solution, we go with the problem, and then we may hit on the feeling and may not. But what I tried to do, like, now if I were to ask and rephrase that same scenario, I would say, I'm a little anxious. Anxious would be my feeling. I'm a little anxious. The problem is that I have a meeting that I need to go to in an hour or so.